Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. You know, garlic has been a go-to for heart health literally since the days of ancient Egypt. But today, we're unpacking the fascinating modern science of how it acts as a really powerful architect for your cardiovascular system. We're going to dive deep into the specific biochemical pathways that make this humble little bulb so absolutely incredible.
So let's kick things off with a kind of provocative thought. What if the secret to long-term arterial health actually involves letting your garlic get old? I mean, we usually think fresher is always better, right? But as we're about to see in the source material, the aging process unlocks something truly remarkable for our hearts.
All right, Section 1, Garlic and Arterial Health. Let's establish exactly how garlic interacts with our blood vessels on a day-to-day basis.
Now, looking at the key mechanisms drawn directly from our source protocol, it's absolutely crucial to remember that garlic isn't just some rough wire brush scraping plaque out of your arteries. It's way more elegant than that. It works on a cellular level. First off, it upregulates eNOS activity, which essentially boosts your nitric oxide production, telling your blood vessels to relax and open wide. Second, it reduces arterial stiffness, which we measure as pulse wave velocity. Third, the compounds in garlic literally prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, and that's huge because that's the very first step in plaque formation. And finally, it actually stabilizes existing plaque by dropping oxidative stress and calming inflammatory signaling.
Moving on to Section 2, fresh garlic, our short-term defender. Let's look at this familiar baseline that acts like a rapid response sprinter in the body.
Okay, so when you crush or chop a fresh clove, you kick off this enzyme called alliinase, and that creates allicin. Now, allicin is this highly unstable, super pungent sulfur compound. It's that classic, sharp garlic smell and bite we all know. You know, the one that keeps vampires and maybe your date away. It serves as an incredibly potent acute antimicrobial agent and a really great short-term vasodilator.
But the thing about this compound is that it's extremely volatile. Fresh garlic relies almost entirely on this unstable allicin. And because it's so highly reactive, it breaks down really fast in your digestive tract. Now, for some people, this is totally fine, and they can eat fresh garlic all day without an issue. We are absolutely not denigrating fresh garlic here. It is a fantastic tool when you need acute antimicrobial effects. But for a lot of folks, this rapid breakdown causes gastric irritation, heartburn, or just general intestinal discomfort, especially if you eat it on an empty stomach.
Which brings us to Section 3, aged garlic, our long-term protector. Let's see what happens when we transform that sharp defender into a highly sophisticated long-term cardiovascular hero. Enter SL-cysteine, or SAC for short. Over an aging period of about 30 to 40 days, that harsh, unstable allicin completely converts into SAC. This is a highly stable, bioavailable, water-soluble antioxidant. It's essentially a massive biochemical leveling up. Because it's so stable, it survives your stomach acid completely intact. Instead of causing heartburn, it gets readily absorbed right into your systemic circulation to do its most critical work.
So here's the real game changer, the contrast between the two pathways. Fresh garlic operates on an acute pathway. It's your quick strike, short-term blood pressure reducer, and antimicrobial force. But aged garlic, that works on a long-term pathway. It focuses on preserving endothelial flexibility over the years, giving you deep antioxidant protection to stop lipid peroxidation, and measurably reducing your arterial stiffness over time.
And this brilliantly illustrates the practical difference in your day-to-day life. Aged or fermented garlic literally trades that sharp, hot, spicy bite for an entirely different flavor profile. Think sweet, savory, umami, or tangy. But even more importantly, the gastrointestinal impact is night and day. While raw allicin can trigger that classic garlic heartburn we talked about, the aged version is exceptionally gentle. It's so well tolerated that you can eat it on an empty stomach with zero issues. So while fresh garlic remains a great option for those who can tolerate it, aged black garlic is vastly superior as a daily, long-term habit simply because it completely removes the barrier of digestive distress.
Okay, Section 4, the black garlic transformation. Let's actually look at how this magic process happens.
The most famous method is the heat aging process to create black garlic. And it's honestly fascinating. You take whole bulbs of garlic, leaving that outer papery skin totally intact, and hold them at a very specific, controlled temperature and humidity for 30 to 40 days. During that time, the allicin fully converts to stable SAC via the Maillard reaction. Picture this. You take one of those aged whole bulbs and slice it right down the middle. Inside that perfectly normal-looking white skin, the cross-section reveals cloves that have turned completely pitch black. Whether you leave them whole or slice them up, they take on this incredible dark, jelly-like texture that is remarkably sweet and just deeply savory.
Now, as an alternative, there's also a lacto-fermentation method. This involves taking peeled cloves and submerging them in a 2.5 to 3% brine solution for 3 to 8 weeks. The natural acidity mellows out over time, and all these beneficial lactic acid bacteria start to proliferate. It achieves a very similar stabilizing effect to heat aging, locking in those vital cardiovascular benefits while giving you an amazing electrolyte-rich functional food straight out of the jar.
All right, final part. Section 5. Daily Integration Protocol. How do we practically apply these two distinct pathways to our daily routines to optimize our heart health?
Our protocol guidelines lay out a pretty clear roadmap. If you're going with fresh garlic, say for those acute antimicrobial effects, it's best cooked lightly in healthy fats, like tallow or butter, just to reduce the harshness on your stomach lining. However, aged or fermented black garlic is definitely the preferred daily protocol to support your arterial elasticity over the long haul. To maximize the absorption of those powerful SAC antioxidants, you just need to make sure you consume your aged garlic alongside a fat-containing meal.
To put an actual number on it, the target dose cited in the protocol is 1 to 3 cloves daily, meaning the equivalent of fresh cloves, consumed with that meal. And honestly, because aged black garlic is such a wonderfully gentle gastrointestinal profile, a lot of people find they can easily tolerate even higher doses without any discomfort whatsoever.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this question. Upgrading your garlic from a sharp, pungent spice to a sweet, dark, aged daily functional food might just be the quietest yet most profound choice you can make for your arteries. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this deeper look at the science empowers you to optimize your long-term health.